the Japanese baseball season was postponed during today's NHK broadcast, delightfully reinforcing sumo's special status. Were sumo like any other sport, this tournament would have been cancelled, as several sumo directors have suggested doing. But as Hakkaku's speech stressed yesterday, sumo is not like any other sport. As critic Mitsuru Yaku reminds us, it is a ritual, an act of prayer to the gods, which doesn't exist solely for paying customers. We feel that very keenly this week. The silent, sacred dohyo played host to some interesting matches on day 2, and I'd like to analyze most of them with the aid of wrestler and pundit comments now. If you don't wish to know the results, feel free to delay watching until you learn them. New top division man Kotonowaka failed to make it 2 in a row after Meisei choked off his inside right, kept his head down, cut inside, and pulled off the shoulder swing down. "I fought at his pace. Mistake," said Kotonowaka afterwards. Commentators noted that Meisei is finally confident enough to fight without a left elbow supporter. Shimanoumi went into this tournament with 3 straight losing scores, prompting Coach Kise to urge him to stick to what he's good at. That's a thrusting attack built upon a left arm block, which he showed us yesterday and again today versus Dai Amami, deftly setting him up for the thrust over. Tsurugisho tried for a quick win again with his trusted inside right, but confident belt fighter Azumaryu hit back with a firm outside left and defensive right. Guest commentator Isegahama Oyakata said that Tsurugisho's crocked hips prevent him from resisting forward drives. Michelin man Chiyomaru did for Nishikigi with a brutal right forearm smash and left throat hold, finally slapping him down. 6 straight losing scores at this level for recently married Nishikigi could well become 7. 36-year-old Kotoshogiku, the oldest man at salaried level, couldn't have wished for better positioning than that which he achieved against Kaisei, getting underneath the Brazilian's armpit with the right and attacking the side with the left. Victory took him level with Takanohana on 702 top division wins, just 4 behind Musashi Maru. I especially like how he hit upwards from down low, closed his armpits, and went forward, purred Isegahama. Lightweight Terutsuyoshi charged low and left a hapless Tochiozan with no room for maneuver. His initial impact was not the greatest, said stablemaster Isegahama, but I guess Tochiozan didn't encroach as he expected. I did like his next low attack to send his foe upright and backpedaling. Despite having won the last 6 against Chiyotairyu, Tochinoshin continued his slump with a defeat today. A left forearm smash and right throat hold did much more damage than this time last year, a sign of how few practice bouts the Georgian has been able to fight. There was just no power there, was Isegahama's assessment. Myogiryu saved his fiercest charge for fellow veteran Takarafuji, but failed to keep up with the latter's leftward movement. Here he goes forward in mind only, the legs are far behind, said Isegahama of Myogiryu's failed final charge, before revealing that student Takarafuji's hips are in bad condition and limiting his ability to train. Enho moved slightly leftwards at the Tajiai to get the right inside against Ryuden. The bigger man thought he'd trapped his smaller foe with an outside right, but Enho's perfect foot positioning once again led to a trademark left inner arm throw. Abi has had success against Mitakeumi of late, but his double-handed charge was met with Nagano fire today. The half-Filipino Maegashira replied with a relentless pushing attack which soon had Abi hopping on one leg. Endo softened Yutakayama's charge from down low, then went constantly on the attack. His left leg almost gave way, but his right elbow seems largely recovered from the operation and more than capable of parrying Takayama sideways. Prior to this tournament, Tokushoryu suggested sumo journalists shift their attentions to today's opponent Asanoyama, and we saw why. The ability gap was cruelly exposed when Asanoyama flicked off an attempted arm pull, watched his foe stumble forward, and threw him down with an outside left. "I only thought about neutralizing his right," was Tokushoryu's explanation for the arm pull. He told himself not to overthink things pre-tournament. He ought to stick to that motto. Takayasu and Shodai both went in chest first, Takayasu initially coming off best. But his eagerness to go forward without properly setting himself allowed Shodai to swivel and land a right-hand scoop throw. "Takayasu often does that, driving forward without a proper belt grip," tutted Isegahama. "Look, his left hand is only gripping Shodai's sagari beads here. He's ripe for parrying." Takakeisho's masterful handling of Okinoumi in January was supposed to signal a permanent improvement. Today, all that seemed like a false dawn, as Okinoumi first got under his right to decommission it, then came over the top with a right of his own. After trying successive left scoop throws which worked in January, Takakeisho fell onto his right arm for a humiliating defeat against someone long deemed to be washed up. "Why is that right armpit so wide open?" Isegahama lamented. "It was so easy to knock him upright." "It was great I got that left in so well," said Okinoumi. "As planned." Hakuho then showed how a scoop throw should be done against Daieisho. The ex-Saitama Sakai man survived the Yokozuna's initial slapdown attempt, but was then breached under both arms and squashed against the clay. "I can land some thrusts on him, but have to learn how to mount a complete attack against him," Daieisho reflected. Finally, Kakuryu's body seems some way off peak condition. Last July he gracefully pivoted out of danger against Hokutofuji, but completely floundered in the same position today. "He's not paying attention to his opponent's movement," said Isegahama. "My feet really kept up with him today," beamed a proud Hokutofuji, who earned his first win against a Yokozuna in the Sanyaku ranks. "What a tumultuous day! A Yokozuna down, and an Ozeki!" were the commentators' closing words. But, as you will know, there was no one around to cause a commotion.